Good morning, everyone, here at 11:30 in Spain, 10:30 in Portugal, as you. And well, we're Spain and Portugal collection, and we are part of Bunny Sacker family. We like this company very much, and we are really good partners. So saying that the company is one of the really few bespoke and luxury destination management company, including the both countries, Portugal and Spain. Well, here in the beginning, you can see a picture of myself. I feel embarrassed about that. But well, the thing is that it was a deep thought before starting Spain collection, because we came from the meetings and incentive industry, but we really wanted to jump into the luxury and into the more bespoke trips, including, of course, itineraries. So all this information is really wide, is really a lot, and you please feel free to talk to me or to JC asking for any specific, I don't know, stay in a city or itineraries. We are in the team 8 people, but only JC as manager of the brand Spain collection and me as the founder of the company are going to be here. So let's start with a video. It's 1 minute and 27 seconds, but we do believe it's really worth it. And it's the look and feel, not only of the company, but also of the countries, the way we see. So if you want, JC, you can go. Yeah. There is a really nice music with this video that, yeah, due to probably the complex way of doing this Zoom, you don't listen to the music, but it was made for us, and it's really nice. It's really relaxing and inspiring music. So as you can see in the video, we include food and wine and landscape, flamenco music. Of course, we work a lot with yachts and well, we do have some relaxing place. I'm thinking about the Shy in Alicante. For sport people, we do have a lot of surfing, cycling, roads, and Seville, of course, beautiful. And well, Spain is full of different type of wines, and this is something that UK people enjoy a lot. Wine and food. So here, let me show you briefly where we are. The way we decided to build the company, the brand, the team is this way. We are not having many people in one place, but around the 2 countries. So the headquarters, starting 25 years ago in August next month, is Bilbao. It's very north Spain and very close to the UK. I think it's like 1.5 hours flying. And let me tell you that we are having a lot of inquiries for fun trips in this area of the Basque Country with San Sebastian and wineries. And then we do have people in Madrid, in Barcelona, in Seville, and also, it's not here, but in Lisbon. So there are some of the itineraries that include Lisbon with Madrid, with Seville, or you go to Porto. So we can mix both countries as if they were one, because of the distance, right? Of course, we also cover the islands like Balearic Islands, Canary Islands, Azores, or Madeira. So let's go now with JC, and if you don't mind, JC, go and talk about our beautiful things in the country.
Yes, thank you, Avene. Well, we always think about, as Avene said, the Iberian Peninsula as a whole. There are 2 very different countries, but also with a lot of possibilities. So rather than a very fixed itinerary, we tailor-make all of our requests, okay? So everything you ask for a family will be tailor-made, and as Avene pointed out, in a luxury way and a bespoke itinerary just for that family. And again, combining both countries, one of the two of them, not a problem at all. So rather than, again, a fixed itineraries, what can you experience when you're joining us in Spain and Portugal? And the first thing that comes to mind, and here it's already almost like, you know, our tapas time, okay? We are really good in food and wine programs. So if you have foodies, we know that actually one of the first or second reasons for any tourists or travelers to come to Spain and Portugal is because of the food or the wine. With that regards, we actually really have unique venues where we can make private cooking sessions. You can see there in Eco Hacha, who is actually Avene's friend and one of our ambassadors, one of the most renowned and the one with the most, or one of the chefs with the most Michelin stars in the country, doing a very innovative type of cuisine. For those who really love to eat, like me, and probably most of you, it is not only about innovative cuisine or the top restaurants, but also about local food and authenticity. And then in the Basque Country and all over Spain and Portugal, we also try to offer options that have to do more with that farm to table. In this picture, you can see the famous pinchos. We put this photo in particular because it helps us to understand why we call them pinchos. Okay, so the origin is because the food was pinched with a toothpick, you know, where you could just get 2 or 3 ingredients in just one bite of food. And the tradition, and you have to know that, and we're from the Basque Country, so you have to know that the honesty was based that every time you left 3, 4, 5 toothpicks, that was the way to pay for your check, right? How many pinches did you get? Okay, 1 toothpick, 2, 3, 4. So they know how many have you taken because of the toothpicks you left by the bar. Obviously, you cannot eat without a glass of wine. So wineries is also one of our strengths and expertise. And we have really many areas where you can try to do private visits to wineries, small wineries, family-owned wineries that will open just for your clients and will do a very unique experience for you. Of course, you may have heard about La Rioja or Ribera del Duero, or in the Catalonia area, the Penedès, and of course, maybe the Douro Valley in Portugal, but also about other less known regions like the Alentejo in Portugal. Some of the wineries we visit are really very special. I just put, you know, some pictures here. There is one in the south of Spain. That's why we picked this one, where they do sherry wine in Jerez, and they have their own private museum inside of the winery. So you can see Goya's, Velázquez, Zurbarán's paintings in a winery. So they do private tasting just for your clients if you want to. And again, at the same time, you could be sipping a glass of sherry while looking at a Greco, Goya, or a Velázquez painting, which, as you know, art in both Spain and Portugal is really, really one of the other reasons people are coming to Spain. Art, culture, and of course, you know, food and wine. We have some of the best museums. Everyone knows that. In Europe, Spain is probably one of the most varied countries when it comes to art and culture. Of course, you all know about the Prado Museum, Velázquez, the city of Toledo with El Greco, or maybe, you know, Dalí or Picasso. But what we can do sometimes for clients who really want to have a more private experience is like, how about showing them behind the scenes and go to the, you know, the curators that are restoring some of the paintings. Of course, this is a private, very private and unique experience, but we can do that at the Thyssen Museum, also at the Prado. It has to be obviously pre-booked, and it has to be done exactly when they are restoring some of the paintings. But I'm sure that for those clients that really want to have a truly unique experience, that might be something that really will probably blow their minds. Okay, unique venues. It is not only about museums, but private palaces. So they want to visit a private palace like the one on the left, which is the Palace of Liria, it's a private palace that could be just open for your clients to do a dinner with a Michelin chef inside, or just to enjoy as if you were part of the nobility of Spain while enjoying these beautiful pieces of art. Or like, the lower right photo, which is painter Sorolla's former house in Madrid. So it's not only about El Prado or the Reina Sofia, but also those other small boutique museums that maybe, again, catching the eye of some of your clients that are very interested in art. In addition to museums, we all know that people are crazy about art galleries eventually, when they want to see where the art is being produced almost at the very moment, right? Those avant-garde movements, but also the traditional antique stores. Maybe meet some of the owners of these antique stores and have lunch with them in their atelier, so we can also customize those experiences for those who are into art, which is not only about great painters or galleries, but also about artisans and crafters. So you see that sometimes a lot of clients are asking us for that very small atelier where they're making guitars or jewelry or filigrane or engraving, as you can see here in this picture, or the famous blowing glass works they do in the Balearic Islands. Of course, tiles and ceramic. Spain and Portugal are super famous because of their tilery. So we can go not just to the workshops, but also have the clients and the kids. This is a very good experience for families, so they can join the artisans and learn how to do the tiles. In Portugal, Spain, again, both countries are very popular with tiles. We can do workshops just for our clients, because again, it's one of the most important decorative traditions, which again, Portugal and Spain, we're all about tradition. Some of them are very popular, as you may know, the bullfighting. And this one probably right now, you don't need an explanation. So it's actually happening as we speak. So today is July 13th. So there's still one more day to go for the San Fermines. So for over a week or so in Pamplona, we've had more than 1 million travelers enjoying the famous running of the bulls. We have access to private balconies. So you want to rent a private balcony to see the running of the bulls. You don't need to run in front of the bulls if you don't want to. We'll help you with all of those arrangements. We can join some of the local groups after the encierros to go into a more insider's view of the fiesta, as Hemingway defined it. So it's not only, again, about the running of the bulls, but everything that entails a party like, the San Fermines. All over Spain, we had chances to join, like that one on the right, it's April Fair in Seville, the famous Sevillana dancers that happens every year during the month of April, or in a more quiet way to enjoy the famous religious sentiment that we have all over Spain and Portugal during Easter time. This is also in Seville, but it's celebrated, those famous processions are celebrated all over the country in Spain, which is all about color, music. And if we speak about color and music, we cannot forget about flamenco, but maybe other popular festivities like in Zaragoza or in the area of La Rioja, or the famous human castles in the area of Catalonia. We have access to some of those groups. They're usually family and friend groups in Catalonia that they join to train every other week, and we can have our clients join the process and see how they're building up those stunning human castles that have become actually part of UNESCO's World Heritage. So once again, Spain and Portugal is all about experience, and those experiences couldn't be fulfilled without staying at very unique places. I didn't want to bore you with tons of hotels. You guys are professionals that know pretty much many of the accommodations, but just so you know that Spain Collection uses unique properties, of course, but always in the luxury segment. So some of those properties that I really love, like Abadía Retuerta, winery a couple hours from Madrid, where they have a Michelin restaurant inside a 12th century convent. Places in the south of Spain that are not so well known by the white villages route, where you can do yoga, mindfulness, have farm to table, as we discussed before, possibilities for the gastronomy, and Portugal as well, as I said. But besides just the Douro Valley or Lisbon, we also work with very unique properties in the Alentejo, which is in between Lisbon and Spain. All of them, as I said, 5-star luxury properties that are ideal for families and couples alike. Of course, we do work with some of the top chains like Paradores. So I just picked one of my favorite spots in the entire country, which is Santiago de Compostela. I really love to do El Camino de Santiago, as you can see with my background picture in the Zoom. So we work with the 5-star Paradores de Reyes Católicos, or with the Relais Chateau chain, that they have a beautiful, beautiful property in the surrounding area of Santiago. But it just, let's say, regular hotels or properties are not good enough. Well, you can always rent a private island for you, get a helicopter, get just flown over to your private island, have a chef for you, ship over all the wine you will need for a few days, and then we'll send a private boat to just pick you up, bring you back to the peninsula, and keep enjoying with your trip. Once again, we know those are just little bites. We only have like a few minutes to show you guys around, but we could be your partner here in Spain and Portugal. And once again, we're not a wholesaler or a tour operator in the sense of a classic tour operator that books things online, but we customize, tailor-make, and we really care about each of your clients' itinerary, which is totally different and personalized from one to the other. Okay, we'll be sharing this short presentation with Fiona, as we also have some of our contact information. There is a general one for questions and inquiries, travel@spaincollection.com, and you can just send all over your request to this one over here anytime you want. So I'm sorry if we went a little too fast, but we know we have a little time constraint, and you have like one webinar right after the other. Fiona, I think you already had one, and now you have a lunch break, and then you have another couple in the afternoon. So we didn't want to bore you guys with tons of information, but at least to let you know that we're here for you anytime you need.
That was fabulous. Thank you so much, JC. So just to summarize, if you have any clients who are interested in luxury touring itineraries of Spain or Portugal, JC and Abene here are the absolute experts in that field. So if you're a travel agent, we do have a number of tour operators we work with in the UK, some of which are on the line now. And if you're a tour operator and are interested in working with Spain Collection, please do give me a shout and we can organise a private Zoom call with Abene and JC. So if there are any questions, please pop them into the question and answer box at the bottom, and we will do our best to answer those for you.
I wanted to show you just very quickly, how we put together those itineraries for you guys. Okay, so this is a long itinerary we personalize for, we can put the logo of your operator, and then we'll include all the information you need regarding even flights, of course, chauffeurs' names, the information of the itinerary and the tour. It's all, again, personalized for you, including transportation, tours of the Gothic Quarter in Barcelona. Then you have all the information here, and we can communicate with your travelers even live through our chat. Okay, so if their flight is delayed, we will know, and they will know. If they need to let us know anything, we can just communicate through here. So this is an online tool we use to personalize and customize each of your itineraries. And again, of course, this one we put Vanny Sacker's logo, but we can personalize with each of your logos, of course, anytime.
That's great. And what's the average turnaround time, JC, between a tour operator or travel agent sending you an inquiry and the quote being sent back to them?
It depends a lot on the length of the itinerary, obviously, and the complexity of the itinerary. So sometimes for more standardized, quote unquote, Barcelona, Madrid, of course, everybody wants to go to, if it's their first time, El Prado or Gaudi or some wineries. That takes a little less time. So usually we try 48 hours to have at least a first draft itinerary to start discussing on whether they like it or not, if we need to add, or take something out of the itinerary because they don't drink wine and we just thought that a winery might be a good idea, right? But this one that I just showed you before, it's an itinerary we just did in May and June for a couple from the US, and it was 29 days. So they had 29 days with over 20 experiences, with almost 20 transfers, private transportation all over the place, from one place to the next, private winery visit, museums. Obviously that one, we cannot do it in 48 hours because again, it's a very long and complex. So, but we'll say that as an average, between 2-3 days, we'll have the itinerary, at least the overview. And then if it's a long that we have to be back and forth, we'll be obviously working with the advisor, with the agent, until we get the final version. That said, we always reply within 24 hours that we received the request and that we may have some initial questioning before. Okay, so it's very important for us that you guys, Banitsaker and the travel agent as well, gives us a little bit of a briefing so we know a little better what the client needs, what is their budget, if they have an estimate for this type of hotel or the other, because as I said, we don't do like separate components. We're not a transportation company. We don't own our own buses and limos. So we put together a 360 degrees experience that includes picking you guys up at the airport, okay, with our best drivers. But we don't own 150 cars all over Spain, right? So we'll give you a quote as a package for the entire experience. Once again, if we need to be adjusting things with the agent, we're always doing that all the time. So
I would like to add, if I may, 2 things. The first one, they're very practical, right? The first one is that more and more clients are willing to do a first Zoom with us, as you know, Fiona, that instead of being exchanging emails like, this is my question, this is my answer. No, I have a question after your answer. So many times, especially in United States, they appreciate a lot that, because in one conversation of 15 minutes, they can see a lot more than being exchanging emails in the first stage of the inquiry. And the second thing I would like to point, talking about United Kingdom, is that we do work with the best operators. We have signed contracts with ITC, we work with Carrier, and well, I know travel counselors is not a, it's more than, I mean, it's not a tour operator, but we do work with them as the partners, DMC partners in Spain. So don't worry if you have to go through these tour operators, because they will come to us if it comes to luxury and bespoke trips or itineraries.
That's great. So if I have a client, JC or Bene, and say I'm a travel agent, I've gone to one of the tour operators that are signed with you, and my inquiry is, we have 7 days in September in Portugal, and we're interested in food and wine. What would the process be once we've got in touch with, the tour operators got in touch with you?
Okay, the first thing for me, as Avena said, if we had that conversation, that's great, because you guys in the UK really know Spain and Portugal a lot more than some other countries, so they're not so used to the distances and all. But the first thing we will start with is to outline the itinerary and suggest you guys, or in this case, the agent, what is what we believe makes the most sense. Because sometimes we have 7 days in Portugal, September, we're interested in wine, but we want to do the Algarve, Lisbon, and Porto. And then we get into the logistics. Well, you know that the Algarve only has direct flights with Ryanair not always the best timing. And so if you want to do the 3 of them, that's too much. Why don't you keep it to Lisbon and Porto? And then we'll start with that first outline itinerary to start working with. Then, and the most important as well, is to have an idea of what they're expecting. So to be aligned with their expectations in terms of budget, properties, because sometimes that's one of the critical aspects. Like, okay, this is a client that really wants VIP experiences. They want the winery for themselves. They want private tours to this museum, and they want a car and a driver all the way through. Okay, perfect. Or some people know, you know what, we're picking up a rental car and we're driving. And then we need to tell them, okay, but then the guided tours need to be done in a different way, because our tour guides, for instance, or not ours, any tour guide, don't get in the car when the drivers are driving, just as a legal matter. So once again, the first stages will be to outline the itinerary and what makes sense in terms of the length of the itinerary and the time they have. So they need to let us know if they're flying direct to Porto and out of Lisbon, so we can put together the itinerary in a sensible way.
Fabulous. And if you have, if we had an inquiry, for example, for a multi-generational family, they wanted a big villa somewhere. We didn't really know where to go for this, but they want a big, fabulous villa. It's only a single centre. Perhaps they will have a couple of tour excursions included. But could you help with that if it was a big villa inquiry, for example?
Yeah, this is something, well, that in the beginning was tough, but then more and more we knew how to reach the great villas. I mean, not those ones that appear like in Airbnb or everywhere, right? I mean, some of them are amazing, even if they, you know, they sell the villas in Airbnb, but the truth is that we have key people in each place and not everywhere, right? Because if you say, do you have something similar to this villa in this other place of Spain? No, sorry, because even the architecture is different, or the number of rooms, or maybe this one is close to the sea and the other one is in, you know, inside, I mean, in the middle of the forest. But we do have villas that can help our clients, in this case, tour operators, to sell them in a very exclusive way. You should know, though, that many people think that Portugal is cheap, and Portugal is this combination of cheap and pricey, because you have, like, you know, something to eat in Lisbon, which is really worth it for the money. But then you have Madonna or Louis Vuitton having their second, you know, houses in Portugal, and some of them. Well, one of our last inquiries, I was with you. Remember, Fiona, we were doing this sales trip in England.
Showcase, yeah.
You remember, we had an inquiry for a villa in Portugal, and the budget was 100,000 a week, and we did it. We had it. You saw that with me. Yeah. And well, you know, these are usually very specific clients looking for a place to stay, many times even for a month. And this requires most of the times more services, like, you know, a private car, a cook, a chef for the house, or even some nannies for the babies, or for bikes tours for the younger people, surfing for teenagers. We do the whole thing around the villa. But then the villa should be firstly decided, place, and because many times clients think that they know and they don't, because this is our job. So how far is from the sea? How far is from the mountain? What about security? What about the, you know, the plot for the swimming pool? Is it, you know, just with heated water? No, so many questions. But we do have the great villas, and these private islands that Chasey just showed one picture is amazing. It's a house, it's a country house. I don't remember how many rooms, I think like 6 or 7, and it's very special.
That's fabulous. Okay, I don't think there's any additional questions in the Q&A box, but I think we're going to have another quick look at this private island now. It is absolutely fabulous looking at those pictures. It's very, very special indeed. So if anyone has any questions, now's the time to pop them in the question and answer box. But if you have any inquiries for this summer, next summer, or any season in between for any luxury touring itineraries around Spain and Portugal, or perhaps a villa inquiry, please do get in touch either with a tour operator who features Spain Collection or with myself. I can pop you in the right direction. Or if you're a tour operator looking for a new DMC who can take care of very specific inquiries such as this, please do get in touch. Benny and JC really are the best in the industry. They really know their stuff. So please do let me know. I will send a follow-up email along with the recording in just a moment after this webinar, as soon as it's uploaded. But there's no more questions. So thank you so much, JC and Ebene, for the fabulous presentation. And thank you to everyone who has joined us this morning. Please do join us again this afternoon for the Sandy Lane presentation. And thank you so much again to everyone who came this morning. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Fiona.
Thanks, guys.